Since I'm not going to do Fandango Friday, we're live, folks. Tonight, Maniacal Monday, October 21st, 10 days from Halloween 2019. I am in Louisiana. I'm being joined by James P. Madonna at Progressive Discussions. I'm here at Right Wing Discussions, Louisiana Cognac Reviews. I have Martel VS Cognac from one of the old cognac houses of France, established in 1715. 1715.
Wow.
The year that Louis XIV died. It's got 3 hammers on the label. It's 40% alcohol. It says Martel VS fine cognac is aged in fine-grained oak barrels, which has given it balance and elegance while preserving its great freshness. It can be enjoyed neat or in cocktails, and this is imported from France, of course, and it was bottled on September 26, 2016.
Of course, oak is the wood of choice for barrels.
Yes.
Oak is the wood of choice. 7 lucky bells. For Maniacal Monday, the first ever Maniacal Monday. And you're probably wondering, I got my lovely machete out there with the engraved cockfighting action. We got the roosters going.
Yeah.
All right. You're wondering why I'm dressed this way. Well, it's because I brought Jose Cuervo tequila. That's why. All right. All right. Now let me get my bottle. What the hell? It's kind of lovely. One of my exes brought it from Bogota, Colombia, for me in the 1990s.
Huh.
Yes, she was Colombian. Anyway, well, she is Colombian. That hasn't changed. Anyway, here we go. Jose Cuervo Especial. Of course, they all say Especial. What else are they going to say? And then, of course, I have everybody's favorite shot glass for Maniacal Monday. All right, got that. And let me read a little bit. Jose Cuervo Especial, blue, made with blue agave. Okay, which is a species of agave. I believe they roast it before they produce tequila. And 40% alcohol by volume. Jalisco, Mexico, I believe. I don't think they pronounce it Jalisco.
Right. Right.
Jalisco, Mexico. Jose Cuervo. Everyone knows Jose Cuervo. Recipient of more gold medal awards than any other tequila. I hear Patron is very good too, and Hornitos tequila. And that's pretty much about it. Let's see what else. Nah, I'm not gonna read all the mumbo jumbo government warnings, but I
see that it was introduced in 1795.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, because they got the 17 on one side of the logo and the 95 on the other. I was just gonna say, yeah, thank you for deciphering that. Because they got them separated by like a big insignia in the center. 1795. That is before the Battle of the Alamo.
Yeah, and in fact, he was in collaboration with the Bourbon King of Spain, Fernando. So the Cuervo family, Jose.
It kind of goes with this Western theme. Let the train whistle blow.
Yeah, it's the Kansas City Southern. That's that 6 o'clock train eastbound. So Jose Cuervo was in collaboration with the Bourbon Kings of Spain, and became world-renowned tequila. I've never had tequila of any brand in my life, so I can't speak to it, but it didn't get famous being terrible. I'm gonna
Yeah.
put.
Well, there are many varieties. I can always, if you ever get tequila someday, I can always get another brand. Cheers, everyone. Maniacal Monday. You see, Monday is the least popular day of the week. People that work in offices usually have a very difficult day on Monday, and driving home, there's that certain Monday traffic that people have to fight. It's not a popular day. Everyone I know over here are crab asses. They're all grouchy on Monday. The women are extra grouchy. I don't know why, but they complain about everything anyway. But anyway, it's Maniacal Monday, whether you like it or not. Now, Jay's got a wonderful cognac, Martels.
Yeah,
Yes, which he gave a little info on.
and it's a brandy. Back in the 1700s, Americans drank a lot of rum and brandy. Then whiskey and vodka, I guess, sort of took over the market, but brandy still is a big player, although it's nothing like it used to be. I was talking to people that lived in France, and they said, well, cognac brandy is a big product of France, but most French people don't drink it. They said, well, it's kind of a niche product. Maybe some old 68-year-old men drink it. They said, but most of the brandy money comes from exports to North and South America and East Asia. So
cognac is a form of brandy, and you have the proper glass to drink it out of.
well, this is a good glass, but cognac is a brandy that is produced in the Cognac region of France. It's an area near the Atlantic Ocean. They have a certain acidity in the soil that supposedly makes it good for producing cognac. Cognac got very popular during the days of the Bourbon Kings of France. You're drinking something from the Bourbon Kings of Spain, and you have big famous cognac houses like Martel, Hennessy, Courvoisier, and so on.
Remy Martin.
Remy Martin is another big one, and I'll let you go first because you're the guest.
Yeah, tequila. It's hard to describe it. I mean, there is a sweetness about it, but it has a very distinctive flavor and aroma. It look like, what do you say? It look like the Crocodile Hunter.
Crocodile Dundee, yeah.
It's Australian for beer, mate. Put another shrimp on the barbie. Well,
Yeah.
he didn't really say that. That was it Paul Hogan of that was I'm getting him confused with the late Steve Irwin.
Right, the Crocodile Hunter
Crocodile, he died from a stingray right through the heart. But
and like somebody said, if you make a career out of harassing animals, it might not end well.
Well, didn't he dangle his toddler son over a freshwater crocodile during one episode? That's kind of like Michael Jackson going like with the little white kid over the balcony. They're ignorant. They're ignorant. Look, it's a child. It's a child. Let's play.
That's what I guess that's what having a major addiction to prescription drugs, opioids will do.
Yeah. Well, South Park did a real funny satire of him where they had his hologram, his spirit came back in a hologram, and his body parts started falling off, his jaw, his ear, his nose, Okay. Very unique. It has a lot of the attributes of a whiskey, but it does have that distinctive aroma and flavor of the plant, of the agave cactus plant. And I have consumed a mezcal from Mexico with the worm in it. I've had the worm. Nothing spectacular happened to me when I consumed the worm. But it was that was a little different than this. But I'm sure it's from the same plant. Let me try to get something else out of this so I can distinguish it. What makes it difficult is it's not a malt or corn or grain based hard liquor. It's from that agave plant. So to try to put it into words is not easy.
Yeah, and I can't relate because I've never had it. So it's like you're speaking another language to me.
Now I understand why they mixed it in cocktails like frozen margaritas, because if I had to choose between tequila and a high end whiskey from the United Kingdom, or high end bourbon, or even the Wheatley vodka or the Kettle One vodka, I would prefer them over this.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
unique. It's different. It's unique because it is not a grain product. It's made from this desert succulent.
Yeah. Right. Well, Jean-Pierre of Haiti, his family's from Haiti. He said he was thinking about joining, but sometimes he can't make it.
Jean-Pierre, where is Jean-Pierre?
I don't know.
Well, if you're going to get a vodka, definitely look for Kettle One or Wheatley, because it is made from wheat instead of potatoes. It is not like a peasant vodka. These peasants out there that'll drink anything just to get a buzz, and they cannot appreciate the flavor of fine fermented beverages.
Yeah, and I know you loved Wheatley.
Oh, Brita water? No, I switched to the zero water filtration.
No, I said I know you loved Wheatley.
Oh no, I'm just answering this guy.
Oh yeah, okay.
Bry probably likes rye. That's why his name is Bry. I don't know why, but I don't think he would lie. Gee, I'm gonna move for pumpkin pie.
I think Jean-Pierre mostly likes the New York Giants, and in college football, he kind of likes all the teams. He's kind of like me; he just follows everybody.
Well, the Yankees, you suck. You suck. I hope the fans gang up on you as you get off the plane and beat the crap out of you, because you got that Brian Cash man should be fired. Old man Steinbrenner would have fired him a long time ago, George, because George and Billy Martin, they were hands-on, people. They got involved and they fired people, and they bashed them in public when they deserved to be humiliated. Should be ashamed. And that Giancarlo Stanton, he's had a boo-boo in his quad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Aaron Judge, he had one great year. That was pretty good.
Yeah, that was you're pretty much right. Hey, let's see. I went to Memphis this week. And
oh yeah, tell us about your trip to Memphis. That's right.
We drove to Memphis Saturday, and it only took 5 hours and 15 minutes, I guess. And we were not driving straight through. We stopped a few times, but 5 hours, 20 minutes. And then we got there and we went to the hotel, and I said, they're not going to let us check in. They're not going to let us check in. It's too early. And then my friend asked, the lady is like, yeah, you could check in. I said, oh, shows you what I know. And so we went up to the room, and then the hotel was nice, but the neighborhood looked like Lebanon in 1983. But Beirut. But
well, the government doesn't send much money to the smaller cities of the United States. I hear Pittsburgh is getting run down.
Yeah, it's really bad, Memphis. But so the lady says, my friend's like, where can we get something good barbecue? And she told us about a really good place. She said, but it doesn't open until 4 p.m. I said, well, we're hungry now. She said, wow. We'll go to this other place called Big Bill, which is down on Highway 51, close to Elvis Presley's old house and Graceland. And I said, well, okay, because we were close to that. So we drove, and my friend was like, I don't know if we can find it. I said, I know where Highway 51 is. I mean, that's like a major road. I mean, I'm not going to get lost. So, U.S. Highway 51. So we drove there and we saw Elvis Presley's house. And I said, look, there's his house. Oh, I don't care about that. Let's find the place. I said, okay. So we're talking about David. So we went to, there it was, Big Bill. He was excited then.
What if the Honky Tonk Man was running around over there? You know, the wrestler, Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah. So we went to Big Bill. We went in there and you could see the smoke coming out the roof. I mean, it was just smokers. And we went in there and I got the smoked pulled pork sandwich.
Oh, that's beautiful.
They said, do you want the coleslaw on the sandwich? I said, yes.
On the sandwich?
That's what they do. Well, that's what they do there. So they put it on the sandwich.
That's so they give you less meat.
No, they put a lot of meat, and then they put baked beans. I had on the side pork and baked beans, and then
they put it on the side.
So it was a huge amount of food for after tax. It was only $8.73, and then my friend got the rib tips, barbecued rib tips with potato salad and pork and beans, and he was just bragging and taking photos and going crazy. So I have to write a review on Google.
Google review,
yeah, Google and at TripAdvisor. I have to write a review of Big Bill, and I have to write a review for the hotel because the hotel was nice, and they had a grab-and-go breakfast in the morning when we left, and it was a fresh apple and a granola bar and water. But they didn't have
like continental breakfast.
Yeah, but they didn't have the breakfast bar anymore because I think they were having trouble with vagrants coming in and wanting to eat. You know how they do in all these cities. They wander around. They want to go in and like vultures, bother all the legitimate.
Well, that's why the McDonald's over here stopped the breakfast specials because the seniors would hang out all morning and all day long. They'd be hanging out there, gossiping. Now, I like the Memphis style dry rub with the sauce on the side. That's how I like the.
Yeah. So, and then we went to the game. We rested, and then we bought some beer. We went beer hunting in a sort of a urban, what you want to call it, grocery store. And they had an incredible beer selection, so we were getting all excited. We bought a bunch of stuff, and then we went and put that in the fridge at the hotel. The hotel had a fridge, and then we went to the game, and we parked in the neighborhood, and we didn't pay to park. We went and got some tickets on the street for cheaper than the window, $15 a ticket. Then after the game, my friend was getting antsy because Tulane was getting beat like a drum. So he doesn't really like sports. I told him, you don't need to go on any more sports trips. He likes trips, but not sitting there looking at a game. So he went through the neighborhood back toward the truck ahead of me. And these people had 3 big pits, and they were smoking all kinds of pork and chicken and sausage. And he started talking to them.
Wow.
And he says to them, hey, I'll buy some food from you. And they said, what? And he said, yeah. And they gave him this huge plate of smoked chicken, sausage, beans.
Smoked chicken.
And barbecued chicken and pork. And he said, how much? And the guy said, how about $7? He said, okay. So
wow.
Huge plate. We brought it back to the hotel, and he's like, oh man, this is so good.
That's heavenly food and reasonably priced too. Very reasonably priced.
Yeah, and it was just people in their front yard having a party, drinking on a Saturday night, and he just asked them, and they were all lit up, and they were smoking and drinking and barbecue, and it was like at nighttime, I never would dream of offering to buy somebody's food from a private party, but he did it, and
oh wow! Did they have brisket? Did they make brisket?
Oh, I don't know, but I ate some of the food. He said, you want to try some? I said, sure. And no. So it was really interesting. It was an interesting trip. And then we left at 5:30 Sunday and got back here at 11. So 5.5 hours coming back. And we kept stopping looking for beer, which was unsuccessful because in Mississippi, you can't buy beer on Sunday in most places.
Oh, really?
Until 12 o'clock, because you can't buy beer until 12 noon because they wait until people get out of church. It's the Baptist, the Protestant laws. And
okay.
And in some towns, you can't buy beer at all on Sunday. All right. So that's the trip story.
Yeah, well, you know what? Just the information about Memphis barbecue. I watched. I think it was on the Food Channel. They showed this old landmark in Memphis where it's over 100 years old, and they deep fry everything in lard that happens to be over 100 years old. The lard itself. And what they said was lard requires no refrigeration, but as long as you keep it clean, the lard can last indefinitely if you keep scooping all the carbon from, that goes to the top, keep it clean. And they cook everything deep fried in the lard, including the vegetables, of course, the potatoes, the fries, everything, the meat, everything goes in the lard.
Yeah, and in the late 1960s and early 70s, the mostly Democrats, but it wasn't all just Democrats, in Congress got all this stuff passed where they said you should eat Crisco instead of lard,
which is toxic.
And it's high triglycerides and all of this. And then all of these guys who signed these laws and pushed all this realized later, well, it is sort of like eating plastic.
Well, Crisco or shortening and margarine is made from it's a refined vegetable oil. It's partially hydrogenated oil or trans fats. It's very carcinogenic. It's toxic. It's absolute garbage. And you're much safer with good butter from pasture grass-fed cows, or from lard or duck fat. A lot of top chefs are using duck fat now.
I read that that's what got those products so popular in the 1970s. Your U.S. government promoting the consumption of trans fats.
No, that's the toxic American food industry paying off politicians to get their garbage out there.
All right, Eric, we're going to get to your product. Welcome from Massachusetts. I'm going to talk about this Martell for a moment.
Massachusetts reviews. And this gentleman can do as many reviews on Fandango Friday as he wishes. If he had 5 beers, he could review 5 beers.
Wow.
Play guitar or do anything he wants.
Generosity there.
Eric, I don't encourage that. All right, now, just due to time constraint. Hey, they're saying that the color is rich, clear gold. Well, I'm finding that the color is rich, but it's clear and amber. That's not gold. That's a dark amber. Do they add caramel color? Perhaps. It's made from grapes. Now, remember, brandy cognac is made from grapes. Not grain. It's a blend of different grapes.
Kerrygold is excellent butter. You're right.
Now, it says that the aroma is intense aromas of plum, apricot, and candied lemons. I'm picking up a lot of wood and spices on the nose. It smells like almost like a spiced fruit. It's very rich. The taste of luscious, fruity notes associated with Martell are taken to new heights with this supremely smooth blend. And it also says that, well, you know, when you were a child and you'd play hot, hot, cold, cold. Like if you were trying to get somebody to find something, you'd say, you're getting hot, you're getting hot, you're getting cold. Well, they say mainly this is heated up on the mixed side. So it's mainly made for mixed drink and not so much straight. It's more spicy it's more fruity than spicy, and it's midway smooth to bold. So I'm going to taste it very quickly. It's very spicy, very woody. You get the distilled alcohol from the grapes. There is that caramel, and almost like, you know, the Three Musketeers bars has the nougat.
Yeah, nougat.
It's like a nougat. And
hey, it could be any fucking thing.
It's a rich product, and this is the base model, the VS. And you can go, like, say, you might buy this bottle full size for $40, but you start climbing the ladder, and then you can get up into the hundreds of dollars per bottle. But I'm not going to go there at this particular time. But
hell no.
Yeah, Ted Nugent. I'm really pleased with it. I'm very pleased with the Martell. And thank you, Cole. And now Thomas Metal, Eric is going to talk about his product, and I'm going to go clean my glass. I see I have a smudge on, but I can hear it because I'll be right next to
Okay.
the
Okay.
next round.
I opened this growler the other day, so I got to get to it and start drinking because it's only going to get flatter as the days go on. This is from, once again, we got a Trillium Brewing Company beer to discuss here. It is a 7.9%. I guess they're calling it a double IPA at this point. It's in their permutation series. This is permutation 6.42 again. It's a double IPA, and it's at 7.9%. And it's utilizing things in it: pale malt, honey malt, and El Dorado hops. Now, here's what the beer looks like in my crazy fancy glass. Lots of lacing, lots of that orangey pineapple kind of juicy look to it. Yeah. With, again, that nice bright white head. And it smells exactly like cutting open a pineapple, or ever drinking some, if you've ever had a drink of pineapple juice or ever smelled pineapple juice. This is pineapple fruit forward pulp puree smell. Holy moly.
It does look like a passion fruit mango, a tropical blend pulp of a beer.
With the biggest amount of the pineapple note that I've ever smelled before. It almost has a lactic or a lactose kind of sugar-like aroma to it as well. And if I take a drink, cheers.
It's very good.
Cheers to you.
Yeah, I mean the tequila has a has a spicy aroma and flavor, but it's like, being that it's not grain, it's distinctive to the agave. It's unique. It's
the agave.
I'm not opposed to trying tequila. It's just that I'm so backlogged on what I'm dealing with now. It's just like I cannot get to everything, you know. All right, Eric, sorry.
I mean, this is so, in the taste or in the nose I was talking about, it felt like it had a lactose malt, or not malt, but it had lactose added to it. I obviously doesn't reading the website, but it is so big and bold in that milk shaky or like a smoothie kind of sweet, pulpy puree of the pineapple note to it. It's like the biggest amount of pineapple I've ever tasted in my life in a beer. So you really, really, really have to like forefront the taste of pineapple, or maybe like a painkiller drink that's got the coconut and the pineapple juice and the Puffser's rum kind of a deal. I always find that thing to be very big and heavy on the pineapple. So that's like the primary star in the show. It's almost candied-like in its sweetness. Almost. Not quite, but it is certainly up there in the sweet category. You have to be at least okay with the concept of a sweeter beer to even enjoy this beer. I would definitely say. It's
what's the ABV again?
7.9. So they may call it a double IPA at this point. They might actually. It's got
I would.
somewhat of an oily mouthfeel, but it is the creamier side of things with the New England style IPA. It's kind of refreshing, but you're getting so much of that candied-like sugar sweetness to it that it does get cloying after a while. This is definitely on the medium side of the body. It's just not my favorite of all these different Trillium beers that I've had, just I think primarily due to the sweet and the sugar content that I'm tasting out of it. So, I mean, I don't know. If I had to be honest with you, I might give it an 82 out of 100. This would be I would try other beers that they have in this permutation series. I would not go back to this particular one. So there's a weak rating for Trillium in my book.
Yeah, so what you're saying is it's at the lower end of good.
Mm-hmm.
80, 81, 82, 83. But it's still good. But then you got to consider price point, and that becomes problematic. Yesterday we reviewed Budweiser Black Lager, made in collaboration with Jim Beam. That was very interesting.
I like that a little better, to be fully honest.
It was aged with a 6-year-old Jim Beam barrel stage. So I gave it a good score, and my friend David gave it an even higher score. Like people call him Grouchy David, and he's very picky. So
this was $10 to fill for this particular beer, the 6.42 4-2 permutation recipe double IPA was only $10 for the 32-ounce growler that I did, and it would be $20 for the 64-ounce growler. And I'm glad I did not bring my 64-ounce growler because not on this.
$2 a quart. Okay, well, you
Yeah,
know.
I also did do a $4 or a $5. Where is it? I also did a $5 pale lager in the series yet that I haven't opened up yet. So maybe when I get to that over the weekend, that's going to be a pretty good beer. So maybe I'll like Pilsner better. Who knows?
I have never seen Trillium in Louisiana, but you know those things can change.
Yeah, so far they're just pretty much brewery exclusive. They used to have a few stores that they would sell to. I just haven't seen them on the shelves in a couple of local stores. So
I think we'd have a lot better luck finding beer brands and wine and liquor if they would have deregulation. We were in Mississippi. We found all kind of beers we wanted to buy. We could not buy them because of the blue laws. And you used to have years ago, beer, wine, and liquor companies could have their own stores. In other words, you had Michelob bars that sold only Michelob. But the U.S. government said, no, you can't have that in the land of the free.
you got to choose to go. You got to choose to go in there in the first place. No one's forcing you to even go.
Right.
In.
No one's forcing you to go to a Michelob bar room and only drink Michelob. And now if you go to England, they have tied houses. They call them tied houses.
Well,
They have ale houses that only sell certain brands of ale because they're owned by like Green King. But that's another topic. But I think it's a great topic because we have this monopolistic system here, which I do not support.
That's like getting mad that you just walked into a CVS and they don't have Walgreens products. Like, what were you expecting walking into a Michelob bar?
Exactly.
Anyways.
Oh, Whiskey Scout, you can join because you could bring your product in right now. I mean, don't hesitate. It's not a little late. We're just going to give our scores, and then I'm going to do eggnog. All right. I am going to let James give his score because he went first with his tequila, his famous tequila. And by the way, remember, I've never tried.
Well, I've had other tequilas, so but I do prefer Hornitos and Patron more than I do Jose Cuervo. I'm going to give this a 90% out of 100. Like I said, I prefer Hornitos and Patron to this award-winning tequila.
But would you recommend that people try it at least? Oh yeah, well at 90, yeah, of course.
Yeah, well, it's definitely good in a frozen margarita. But as far as drinking it straight, comparing it to others that I've had, I prefer Hornitos and Patron.
Yeah, and another thing is that this is like the one I'm drinking. This is sort of like their base model, and I don't know what Thomas Meadows doing. And
there it is, the golden cock, man. There it is. There, you gotta love those. He's very well conditioned rooster, as opposed to other roosters in cyberspace. Ha 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 ha. Okay.
So we have the base models. Now, if you get on the Jose Cuervo website, they have bottles of long-term age and gourmet versions that might cost you hundreds of dollars.
Yeah.
But that's if you want to pay that.
Hopefully they're good at that price. You expect high quality.
You would assume so. Mm-hmm. Any of these liquor brands and beer, for that matter, they have their, what I guess you call their consumer model. And then if you really want to step up, you can start laying down the big time cash for their big time products. But I'm not ready to do that yet. There's the Whiskey Scout from Kansas.
I like Thomas Meadows.
His avatar.
I don't know about that dude, but I like the logo.
Thank you. I hope InBev buys Trillium. What the hell?
Can you hear me now?
Oh yeah.
Sure.
All right.
By definition.
Hey, I seen it, but I was kind of busy into something, and by the time I got over here, I figured you'd be about
That's all right. We're not going to go past the top of the hour. Now, here's the Scout of Whiskeys.
Well, today I'm going to do a rum for you guys because I don't normally do
a rum.
Anniversario rum.
Pampero. That's
1938's on the bottle. It's a real dark rum.
Yeah, Anniversario.
I think it's Venezuelan.
Yes, it's Venezuelan. It's extra añejo, Reserva, exclusive, Republic, whatever.
It's very good quality.
Venezuela.
Añejo is extra aged. That's
Yes. Yeah, it's the same as tequila. I mean, the same nomenclature tequila uses. Imported rum, product of Venezuela.
I've had that when I was in Margarita Island, Venezuela, back in the 80s. Pampero and Cacique. And that was the rum of choice for Venezuela. It's Pampero.
So anyway, this is a 750 milliliter, 40% alcohol by volume. Unique and crowning achievement of Pampero rum. I'll just read it back real quick. This very special rum was introduced in 1963 to celebrate the 25th anniversary of Pampero rum. The result of our extensive experience and knowledge in the art of rum making is a special reserve rum aged in oak barrels with a mellow, smooth, and intensely rich flavor. Each bottle is numbered and is recognizable by its distinctive leather pouch. It does come in a leather pouch, by the way, with Anniversario on it. Establishes segment in the international rum market, a connoisseur sipping rum. I like it. In fact, I like it enough. I bought a second one. So you guys, yeah, Venezuela has a lot of problems, but Venezuela rums are good rums.
Yeah, Pampero is what they'll recommend. It cost me $2 a bottle, and I stuffed my suitcase with it, at least a dozen of them.
Yeah, that's a lot more than that here. It's about 25, 26 bucks. Now the between the two, I noticed when I went back and bought the second one, there is a little difference in the
the label,
label, but there is absolutely no difference in the flavor, I don't think. I've not tried it yet, but everything I've read, it's pretty consistent. You can tell this thing is dark.
Boy, is it.
Yeah, it is very dark and very viscous. Takes it a while to develop any legs. So it's been in the barrels a long time.
Yeah,
and it really comes across in the nose. You do get a lot of heavy vanillas in this. A lot of vanillas, a little bit of the whiskey nose is coming through here. A little bit of the caramels, a little bit of the oak. There's a lot of dark caramel in this. And I mean, it's just the vanillas and the dark caramels is just awesome in this. And it's, like I said, if you get a chance, if you see it, it's worth the 25 bucks. It's a better drinking rum than most of what you're going to get. And it's available.
Yeah, the average rum, I believe, is aged 2 years in the oak barrel, where the añejo is much longer than 2 years.
Yeah, they don't actually get. This is so good.
It's like a black navy rum, they call it in this country. A black navy rum.
Every time I try this, I enjoy it. It is worth the money.
It's like Kraken. Kraken is more heavy molasses-like aroma.
I never had Kraken, so I can't speak to that one. I don't know much about Kraken.
Yeah.
I really don't. Most has been Ron. I don't remember what that stuff was called, but it was a dark rum made by Ron Rico, I think is who made it. I don't know. But I've had a lot of dark rums. 5-barrel rum, I've had that. 7-barrel rums, I've had that. I've got some other rums by agricole rums from one's from Puerto Rico, and it's a Reserva Añejo, and the other one I can't think of. Dominican Republic. I'm sorry.
Oh, Brugal.
Yes, very good. Yes, and those were pretty good. But this has a lot more flavor and it carries through a lot better. So anyway, I don't know if you guys give your score yet, but
no, we haven't. Well, I haven't. But hey, let me ask you, Mr. Wichita State Shockers fan, who I saw play against LSU in 1985, by the way. and they had their mascot was a huge shock of wheat on the sidelines.
Shocked
This
up.
is my alma mater here.
Yeah, that was their mascot on the sidelines at the football game, a huge shock of wheat, which I thought was really something,
1985 would have been probably the last year I think they played football. I think they killed the program in '86 after the plane went down.
Yeah, I was very disappointed about that because I was always interested in these regional universities, and so when Louisiana State played Wichita State, I was very into it, but other people got a little bad attitude, But let me ask you something about that rum. Is it age statement or no?
No, there is no age statement that I could ever find on the bottle. As dark as it is, I mean, I don't know how to age a rum as I can like a whiskey as far as giving general ideas because I drink enough of it. In this case, I haven't. I can tell there's age there. I can tell there's a good. It's been in the barrels long enough to have transferred a lot of that vanilla and that caramel content over. I mean, normally with some of the agricoles, I get a lot of the molasses like he was talking about, but this one here is much more to the whiskey side of rum. I mean, it has a lot more of those aging flavors in it than your average other styles of rums. The Plantation 5-star was another one. I had a 5-year-old or a 7-year-old of that. It was a dark rum, and it was pretty good, but it didn't hold a candle to this. I mean, it just didn't.
Well, hey, I'm sorry, Eric. Somebody's putting a comment on there. Whiskey Scout.
I have to go look at it.
I'll read it to you. Have you had the Ron del Barrilito rum from Puerto Rico, Whiskey Scout?
No, the only one I've ever had from Puerto Rico is this one right here. And it's just a Reserva Añejo. It says world's finest rum on it. I don't know. It's pretty selective. How I got it in Kansas is pretty amazing because outside of Puerto Rico, it's only sold in Florida. And it was sitting on a shelf in Dodge City, Kansas. I didn't think twice. The cork is different. The cork disintegrated after I opened it. I had to put a new cork in it. But it's good too. I mean, it's a dark rum as well, and it's a good flavored rum. But it's not as good as this one. If given the opportunity, I would always buy the Pampero. The two Venezuelan rums I have is the Pampero here, and I also have the San Teresa, which is, now this was considerably more money than the Pampero. This is double the cost of the Pampero. And the San Teresa, $17.96. Now this is as good as this. They're both. This might be just a little bit better, a little bit more. I hate to use the term smooth, but that's really kind of how it goes. It's a little bit more even across the palate. It doesn't have a lot of sharp notes in it that can detract you from the overall experience.
Yeah, I don't have a hang up on that term. Okay, now I don't want to interrupt. I'm just coming up against time constraint.
Yep. Go ahead.
Most big rum companies have an añejo, and the price tells you. It's
right. I have two aged rums. I have the Bacardi 10-year, the Gran Reserva Diaz, and I have the 8-year, the Gran Reserva Ocho.
Rum Terrio Silver, Rum Terrio Gold.
Now
Ron, 90 proof. There you go, Craig.
Now Ron means rum in Spanish.
Right. So my name means rum. My name is rum. My name literally is rum.
Yeah. R-O-N. It's rum. So Ron, Rum Terrio. Hey, wait a minute. So if one of us hit the Powerball lottery, we can, just for a hobby, we can produce a Ron Terrio Añejo and, throw you a little commission.
Right. And I hope it's better than Ron Rio rum. All right. Which smells like Monsanto's
Roundup.
Yeah, Roundup and bag gas.
Oh, dang.
It smells like Roundup and bag gas, which is rotted sugarcane stalks. Not really that pleasant. Okay, now I'm gonna score this bag gas. That's a French, you
I heard you say bag gas.
Bag gas.
BAGASS bag gas. Now this
Old lady farting. Bag gas.
This Martell VS. If you don't like the taste of, if you don't like the flavor of wood barrel, it's gonna make you unhappy. It's very woody. I got a good deal on it. I got a good price for those 2 bottles. Honestly, I got those 2 bottles for $11, which is cheap for Martell. I always say that brandy is sort of like grape whiskey. I call it grape whiskey, and which is sort of like what it is. And it's fine. I like it. Let me see. I'm gonna give it a score right now.
You know, you're right. It is a grape.
Right. It's like whiskey made from grapes.
Brandy,
A blend of grapes. And there was a famous battle in the War of 1812 called the Battle of Brandywine Creek.
Yeah.
And brandy used to be called brandy-wine, which comes from the Dutch word Brent wine, which means burnt wine. Brent wine.
Wasn't
But,
Brandy, you're a fine girl. You're fine. You make it good.
Right,
Brandy for you.
75, I think. All right, but I would score it.
Ronda Rousey, that picture.
Yeah.
I'm gonna score it. About 93.
World class almost.
Oh
Almost.
no, world class would be above 100. So I
Oh,
don't give out world class.
whoa.
I don't give out world class because how do you get above 100? It's very rare. And people always tell me, you give world class for everything. I said, wrong go again. I'll tell them wrong again because I've probably given 5 beers world class scores in 9 years. So I do not give world class scores often. Now, so Whiskey Scout's going to give his score, and then I'm going to jump in the last 10 minutes. I'm going to jump into something even more shocking.
Well, you know what's shocking? Ron Terrio, Ron J. Ron, or whatever configuration he wants to use, he deals with trolls a lot better than the Exorcist Bishop from the Travel Channel, and he's a man at a cloth. I'm sorry, and he's ferocious with trolls. But this guy is kind.
Yeah, I just use oblique aggression. Now, Whiskey Scout is now at this particular time going to give his score.
I give it a 92 out of 100, and that's a high score because I've only the San Teresa, which I have not scored for you, scores higher. And these are my 2 favorite rums. I'm not a big rum guy, but I've had a lot of rum. Usually it's mixed drinks and of that nature. But these are drinking rums, and these score high because I just enjoy them. And for me, they're a good rum. So.
Well, I think that's a fair score, honestly.
Yeah. But like you said too with yours, you gotta like wood too. If you like this, it does have a heavy woody note, oak note in this as well. If you don't like wood, you're not going to like this dark rum. This is not a mixer. I don't think it would mix well with pretty much anything because of the extreme heavy flavors. But by itself, it stands on its own.
Right, and it has to be taken into consideration. And a lot of times, I think we get caught up in our own, I think we get caught up in our own, like, and I'll be the first to admit it, our own fanaticism and to some extent. Yeah. And some people just do not like the taste of wood barrel, and we look down on them like, "Oh, you're stupid," you know. That's always, but they just don't like it, you know what I mean? So I always think, how could people not like catfish? How could people not like shrimp? But there are some people just repulsed by seafood. So yeah, right. So wood would just drive them away. Now that could be like an incomprehensible idea to us, you know.
The only thing that's unforgivable is this woman that told me she does not like cheese of any kind, even the best cheese. I said, "What are you from? You from the Andromeda Galaxy?"
My wife doesn't either. My wife doesn't like cheese
no cheese at all. No cheese.
She hates cheese except on pizza. Some reason on pizza it works for her. Outside of that, you bake her a hamburger with cheese, you might as well just feed it to the dog. She will not eat it.
Like even cheese she wants to. Wow.
Do you have any Cuban rum? No, I do not have any Cuban rum. I don't have a lot of rums, so just so you guys are aware. I mean, I got drinking rums. I mean, a lot of mixing rums, yes, or had in the past. I don't like keep them around.
Well, Bacardi is originally from Santiago, Cuba.
Right, Santiago de Cuba. Right, Santiago de
I didn't know that.
Yeah, and they got expelled. Well, they escaped from Cuba in 1961, I think it was, because they realized the government was going to seize all their property. So they kind of secretly snuck all the recipes and the equipment out of Cuba.
A lot of cigar manufacturers did that too. A bunch.
Right.
That's how they got in. That's how the J. Upman or the H. Upman facility went into Honduras, I believe, is because of that at that particular time period. Again, they were seizing control of all of the cigar factories and making them a part of the Cuban government, regulated and owned by the Cuban government. And they didn't want that.
Right, and that's why today there's two different versions of Havana Club rum. There's the Bacardi Havana Club, which is from Puerto Rico, which is the authentic one because they're the family that started it. And then there's the communist Cuban Havana Club, which is made by the people that stole the property. And
Santiago is the far east end of the island, and it's agricultural, that region, and that's where the Afro-Cubans, I think.
Wait, I thought it was far west, but I could be wrong.
Well, it's
on the north coast, right?
Look at Santiago. It's in facing Haiti. It's on the tip.
Oh, it is. Okay.
Eastern tip, of the island. Yeah.
So it's over by Guantanamo Bay.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm not looking
at my experience with drinking, with sipping rums started in 2004, 2005 when I went to Belize. And in Belize, there was a couple of different rums, and for the life of me, I cannot remember the name. But one, I literally sat and drank at the patio where we were staying. I drank almost half to 3/4 of that bottle in one setting. It was so good, just straight out of the bottle. I mean,
wow.
I wish I could remember the name. I brought back some what they call 5-barrel rum or 7-barrel rum or whatever it was, and it was good, but it wasn't quite the same, and I couldn't find that particular brand at the time in the travel retail shop in the airport. So
I remember when Belize was known as British Honduras.
Yes. Yep.
And there are still a few thousand British troops there, maybe 1,600, maybe not a few thousand. And
excellent coral reefs for snorkeling and diving.
Yeah, I'd like to go there. And Queen Elizabeth
and Belize. Yeah.
Yeah, and Queen Elizabeth is still the Queen of Belize. All right, but anyway, here is a Pennsylvania Dutch eggnog.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh,
I
wow.
bought this at Mathern's. There's a picture of the Pennsylvania countryside, of course. It's been on the market a long time. The company was founded in the 1880s. It's a company called hold on a second. Dairyland,
Lancaster County, PA.
Yeah, Dairyland Distillers. Well, they're actually in Philadelphia, but I'm sure their ingredients are coming from around the world. It's a eggnog made with rum, brandy, and blended whiskey. And I was reading about the government regulations for eggnog, and it's pretty specific. Eggnog has to contain at least 1% egg yolk and like a certain percentage of milk or milk-derived products. It can't just be like imitation egg yolks.
What about egg cream? There's no eggs in chocolate and vanilla egg creams.
I don't know, but as a drink, eggnog, an alcoholic beverage, eggnog must contain a certain percentage of egg yolk and dairy product. Now, this one is a dynamite product for $9.99, a 750 milliliter bottle. It is so sweet and creamy. Now, you get you're not going to sit there and detect rum, brandy, and blended whiskey. There's no way, because it's all put together. And I'm sure it's this company's catalog of products, because Charles Jacquin SC, which was established in the 1880s in Philadelphia, they have a whole line of liquor products. It's like mind-boggling. and they have a huge, what you want to call, factory in Philadelphia, which they do not let you tour, by the way. And but whatever the case, it's common around here. Apparently, it's common across the United States. I should have added a little. Huh? I've seen Pennsylvania done. I would highly recommend.
I wonder if that would stay liquid in the freezer. I wonder if there's enough.
I would not suggest freezing it, but I would suggest refrigerating it. I would give this the highest score, not world class, of course, because it's not meant to be that. You don't go to a grocery store and buy a world class eggnog for $9.99. I mean, only you would have to have a child's mentality to think that. But for a grocery store, $9.99 eggnog concoction product in a glass bottle from a company that's been family owned, by the way, in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania since the 1880s. It's a real winner. I mean, this thing here is at least a 94. I mean, what's wrong with it? I mean, they have uptight people that could probably find fault and talk about, oh, it's terrible, you know. But it isn't terrible. To me, that's my opinion. You know, other people may not agree. I'm gonna get a little cinnamon now and put it in there just for kicks.
Yeah. I think I'll be down your way in Thanksgiving time period. So if I see it, I pick it up.
Yeah, it should be around. It's in all the grocery stores. And FACP monitoring says it's the best eggnog he's ever tried.
That speaks well for it then, I guess. You both like it.
Thomas Meadows says another introductory IPA, Lagunitas IPA for damn sure. The price is amazing and it's smooth and not overly bitter for 6%. There's no doubt about that. If you get the Lagunitas IPA, you're not going to go wrong. Now I'm going to get the cinnamon and we're going to close it out. So any last comments? Because we got the National Football League.
The Patriots are playing. Ooh, yeah.
Well, I mean, any high-end liquor you don't want to mix, like the Wheatley and Kettle One vodka. You know, you don't want to make a vodka tonic or Bloody Mary with that.
All right, Jeremy, it's for you. You said drink up.
All right, so I'm gonna rate this one again, just so Whiskey Scout can hear it. This is the permutation 6.42. One of their double IPAs in a rotating series from Trillium. I'm giving it an 82, and I'm going to stick with that. It is like the most pineapple puree, pineapple flesh, pineapple, like a fruit smoothie flavor I've ever had in my life. But it also feels, and they're not even talking about it on their website, it also feels like it's a very candied-like sugar, or at least it's going so far in that direction, it becomes almost borderline unenjoyable with a lot of the sweetness. But when I am able to really concentrate and look beyond the upfront candied-like sugary sweetness, it's done really, really, really well. But just like with your barrel-aged rum there, and you got to like the woody notes, you have to like pineapple, and you have to be okay with upfront sugary notes to like anything about this particular beer. So far, even with an 82, that is like the worst Trillium beer I've ever had. And I bought a whole $10 fill-up of a 32-ounce growler, and I'm not going to dump this beer out, but we'll see how long it takes to drink it.
No, you would not dump out an 82.
No.
You might dump out
That's
a
for the 50s and the 60s.
Yeah, I'm not going to dump this
right.
in.
Might dump out a 62. Hey, any of y'all ever had the Jack Daniel's Green Label?
Is that the rye whiskey?
The Jack Daniel's Green Label? Yeah, I've had that.
Yeah, we saw that in Tennessee. We were in Memphis, and they had that. You know.
I would hope so.
Yeah, I got a bottle, but I drank it. It's long gone.
Yeah, I have a bottle that was purchased for me in Beaumont, Texas, because you can't get it in Louisiana, but you can get it in Texas and in Tennessee. It ain't nothing to brag about. It's just kind of one of those oddities, you know.
Right. I agree. Black is better.
Whiskey Scout, what'd you say was better?
The Jack Daniel's Black, I think, is better than the green.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell them apart, but what do I know about Jack Daniel's? Not a lot. I don't have enough.
I don't know. I don't have enough to do a comparison straight across, but working on memory, I think that there was a little bit younger feeling with
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
you know.
I just don't have enough ability to, hey, but to detect it. But if you do come to Louisiana, you ought to check out. Well, that's assuming you ever went to New Orleans. I think I might go back to International Market again this next month, and but you'd love Savannah Discount and Discount Depot, but then of course you might go bankrupt.
Nah, I wouldn't go bankrupt, but I might take a thump.
You might take a thump.
Yeah, the old checking account be thumped a little.
You know, I like to use hyperbole to emphasize stuff. Hey, but it really is a great place. International Market, Savannah Discount Depot. Those places are. I guess every city has those places. I just don't know about them all.
Right. I've looked up the International Market you've talked about. I got it on my Google Maps in my phone.
James P. Madonna would like it because they have so many exotic foods.
Oh yeah, any of those international markets do. They do imports.
And the place you would really like is on the west bank of the Mississippi River in a town called Tarrytown. There's a place called Hong Kong Market.
Oh, that should be good.
When you go to Hong Kong Market, you better hold your nose because of all the raw fish they have in there.
Wow. Ugh.
You mean fish that smells like ammonia that's on its way out?
I mean, I don't know what to say. It's just they've got these huge tanks with fish in it, and it's all these Vietnamese and Chinese people going there, and they're buying stuff to take home and eat.
They like live. They like their fish live or killed in front of them and all that stuff. Like buffalo carp, grass carp. You know.
Yeah, it's a big time place. Like Hong Kong Market is a serious place.
Yeah.
But anyway, I have a feeling that the prices they pay might be different than what I would pay. But
when I was in Chinatown in New York, I saw huge buckets of bullfrogs staring up at me. I felt sorry for them. You know, I knew.
Yeah, I saw those photos. Yeah, I saw those photos.
I knew what their fate was.
Yeah, I saw your photos. All right, so here we are at the end. Last comments.
Go Patriots.
Oh, they're gonna kill the Jets.
Well, the Jets did kill the Cowboys that one time.
Yeah, but the Cowboys ain't the Patriots, are they?
No.
The Cowboys don't deflate their balls. But anyway.
Shots fired around the internet.
Up-a-zim. Okay, Whiskey Scout, James.
Donald Sutton thing. I can't, what?
Anybody ever, any boxer ever put like Carolina Reaper hot sauce on their gloves when they hit the opponent in the eye?
That would be a good strategy, but it would be a very dirty strategy. I like what Cole Carey says. That's wrong, Cole.
Well, I'm going to give Mr. Hilton is going to join from East Coast Professional Wrestling, the Wizard Ozzy Bucco. We're going to give it a shot, a Halloween special Fandango, and see what happens. Mr. Hilton from California.
Yeah, I'm going to be too wiped out to join that one. I knew it. I knew ahead of time. I said, no way I could function on that.
Yeah.
But,
the
next Friday, I can't.
Totally unrestricted mayhem and whatever people want to do. If Alex wants to talk about Hawaiian Punch or
no beer or liquor or drink at all,
or Raisinets or tomato juice, he can come on. You know,
Right, the free for all like Ted Nugent. All right, well, that's it. Now it's time for the National Football League.
goodbye.
And I appreciate James P. Madonna and Eric, who's abruptly quit. And,
yeah, he did abruptly say goodnight. Actually, he didn't say goodnight.
He said goodbye.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what that was?
But that's Eric, And then Whiskey Scout from Kansas, thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I appreciate your insights, especially me being like a neophyte in the whiskey world, just getting my toes in the pool.
Does Whiskey Scout do solo videos like Tom?
He sure does. He sure does.
Yes. Oh, that's good. Very good.
In fact, I just did one on Barton, very old Barton, 86 proof. I got another one to release Wednesday. It'll be on Edredire 10 single malt Scotch whiskey.
When I went to Kentucky, I bought the very old Barton 80. I noticed in Kentucky they had a wide variety of very old Barton. They had 80,
Yes.
86, 90, and
That's
maybe.
where I bought the 86 at, was Kentucky.
Okay. Wow. It's amazing. It is amazing that these beer, wine, and liquor companies have their portfolio, and then they have their other portfolio.
Yeah.
You know, like they produce all kinds of stuff that's not listed. Like if you go to McDonald's or Wendy's, they have their menu, and then they have their secret menu.
Secret menu.
That's a true story.
Dollar, the dollar value. Some of them are not what they once were. The dollar value.
No, but some are. I've had some good. In fact, today I had pretty good dollar value menu from Taco Bell. I had the spicy tostada, which was on a corn, whatever you call that, a platter. Tostada. Yeah, and then they had refried beans, so called, but they're really drilled with a Black & Decker drill. And then that's the truth. I worked at Taco Bell.
You better hope the beef is not some island of Dr. Moreau genetically modified.
I had shredded. I used to drill those beans so pureed. I used to do a good job drilling those beans. And then we had and then they had the shredded iceberg lettuce and the shredded cheese, and then the red sauce, whatever that is.
I like
romaine. Fire sauce and black pepper on it. Ate it up, and then I had their Fritos, beefy Fritos burrito, which was a beef-like product, but allegedly beef. And, rice and Frito chips, and I put the fire sauce and black pepper on it. And that only cost me $2.19. I'm not complaining, you know.
Yeah, we have some White Castles left in my area. They don't advertise anymore, but they're
White Castle fries only come in one size.
Right. Now, when I was a little kid 45 years ago, they used to have a restaurant chain called Burger Chef.
Burger Chef.
Burger Chef was pretty big, but they got bought out by Hardee's in 1996, and all the Burger Chef restaurants in America got converted into Hardee's. So that's what happened to Burger Chef. Anyway,
all right. The old Roy Rogers with the.
Right. Didn't they get bought out by Arby's because they had kind of like a similar?
Arby's has like Steakum, you know, like Roy Rogers put like a bottom round roast in a convection oven and let it cool down, or left it warm and then sliced it. I mean, Arby's is like God knows what it is. It's
right. I think Roy Rogers was more authentic actual meat.
Yeah. With the fixins bar.
Yeah, I remember Roy Rogers. There used to be a huge location on Veterans Boulevard, Veterans Highway in Metairie. All right. Well, thanks, folks, for joining. And we did a lot of brandy, tequila, New England IPA, rum, and even concocted eggnog.
Good blend, a good diversified show.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes, and everybody, everybody have a good night, and
You too.
take care now.
All right, bye-bye.